Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into this video here. So here we go guys, the time has come. We are going to go ahead, I am going to go ahead and drop some might. I had multiple options I can do this, and I still have some options left. Talking it overnight, so we're just going to go ahead and let the guild rally me rather than dismissing troops. Nobody just wants to dismiss troops when you can go ahead and get some kills out of it with those troops and lose them at the same time. The purpose of losing this might, of course, is simply to assist and help me migrate easy or easier. As you know, it costs a lot to migrate. Now, when I was in the guild with Sim, it's no problem migrating because we didn't migrate much at all, and we had quite a few players that were 4 billion might plus. So it was not hard to migrate then. And with some guilds, it's still not hard to migrate. But when you're in a guild that migrates every 2 weeks, you're going to need a lot of migration scrolls. So we came up with the solution is in Baron, I'll lose some in Baron, I'll lose some in Emperor Wars as far as doing solo marches with the T3. Here's the comp that I have that I'm starting with right now. This comp is going to be a lot different than when I was rallied by Lizzie them, which I baited them. It was not like a agreed upon solution to lose weight on my part. So here we go. Here, there's the first hit right here. Now, you guys know my IQ in large mobile is not all that great. So the first rally here that Knight did, I'm in the wrong phalanx. Change some glasses here, guys. So I'm in the wrong phalanx on the first rally here. So that is always a problem. As you can see right there, not much might drop, and only about 10 million might on my part. So that was my mistake. I didn't have the correct phalanx. Now, when I was setting up to be rallied, I also didn't check my messages from Knight and Mail and other people like Light and some of the other guild members that were telling me what phalanx I should be in, because they would be hitting to counter that. And of course, as you can see, I didn't check any of those messages. I just was concerned about I was concerned about making sure my leader was captured and that my talents were off, and that's what I didn't think phalanx really mattered when you don't have a leader. But of course, whatever phalanx you're in when you are being rallied leaderless, that's the phalanx that you will be stuck in. So that was a big mistake on my part. I'm sure I caused the guild a ton of damage, and I apologize for that. I did try to assist them with some speeds and retraining and replacing those troops to help them out. We all got some kills out of it, but definitely could not go at this route. Now, that was 10 million might drop from a max account. If you don't know Knight, he is a max account, and he's a very great Titan in large mobile. And I also thought about, okay, I need to change my wall. And here I'm thinking I could not change them without a leader. So I needed my leader back in order to change the familiars and the heroes that I have on my wall. So that was another thing. Accidentally killed Knight's leader on the first round, activating my altar as well. That was a mistake. So it's crazy, man. Man, we planned this a day ago, but it's not like I kind of rehearsed how we were going to do it. So it's not like I had everything prepped. We were out doing rallies on other castles, and then Knight was like, let's rally ahead, guys. And of course, a lot of the members didn't know what was going on. They're like, huh? Well, everybody knows I need to lose weight, but they didn't understand what was going on. So I'm sure they had a lot of discussing about that in the chat, because as I discussed it with a couple of people too, it's difficult for a warring guild to it's difficult for a warring guild to rally a team member just for the sake of assisting and helping that team member to drop might in order to facilitate in him or her migrating. So that's the whole purpose of this. But that can be a strain, guys. You know that can be a strain. I mean, it's one thing to rally 2 billion, 3 billion might castles that are basically targets, and it's another thing to rally a team member who's a partner or something like that, friend or whatever, and you're losing those troops kind of like outside of the norm, outside of the gaming mode. You're just kind of like just basically helping. So it's like who's ever willing. It's not like you can really make anybody do something like this. They just got to be willing to sacrifice their troops in order to kill my troops. So there you see it right there. I am changing the leader there. So I'm trying to change this leader as well as put those troops back in the Mirage Rim to gather Lunite, the high troops. And like I said, it's a lot of things I could have better prepped for this. Like I could have, one person messaged me, forgot who that was, that messaged me later on, as you guys will see. He was like, you can hide your T5 troops as well. I could have also hid T5 troops in my shelter and in other places like that. So it's a lot of things that I can do on my part to could have made this easier. And then there's also the option where I could have easily just attacked. I could have just easily attacked other castles, and which would have taken even longer. Which would have taken even longer to do. Could have easily just made a battalion for all T2 cavalry or whatever and just attack a target just repeatedly. But that's doing like what, 300, 400,000 troops per hit, and of course it would take me a much longer time. I could have put it on a clicker. If you guys haven't seen that video, I could have used a clicker or a phone clicker or a phone tapper and set it up like that, but that would have been a little bit different. I'm guessing, because that would have took a lot of buttons to click, so that would have been a lot different. But here we are. I'm at 5.14 billion might. Now, do I have this going fast? Let me see if I got this. I think I got this video sped up, guys, if I'm correct. I think I do. The purpose of that is try to make this video as reduced and not as much time as normal. I will check this right quick. Let me check this. Okay, so there we go. So what I can do is kind of like, once I show the reports and things like that, I can basically just kind of control the duration a little better by just kind of stopping at certain points, show the report, and then go back to the that was a really good hit there. So now I'm in the proper phalanx, and that was a much better hit. That hits like that, guys, I mean, 10 million T2 gone in one hit on a castle that has over 200 million troops. That's a very solid hit. You only need a couple of hits like that, and the cavalry T2 are under 20 million. I mean, a couple of more hits would have put it under, like put it at 10 million. So that was a really solid hit right there. And I like the fact that Knight is able to kind of do the rallies with precision to the point where he's, he's hitting the correct troops and not collateral damage, hitting other troop types that we don't need to lose necessarily. So it was kind of strategical, so it lets me know it really don't take long. If a player, a castle, wants to lose a little bit of might, it doesn't take long at all, because it doesn't take long at all if you have a leader like Knight and maxed accounts like that, or just really good accounts, and if the player is helping set it up correctly. Like you got your talents off, you got your leader captured, you have your familiars and your wall at bare minimum, things like that. And I probably could have made it where I could have made it where the actual familiars on my wall may not had to be 4 or 5 familiars on my wall. I could have made it where it was just like 1 or 2 familiars on my wall. But in any event, I couldn't seem to get my wall empty, is what the problem seemed to be. So that was, I was failing on that. All right, so let's see if we can get to the next hit, guys. I think he's going to be doing a lot of solos. He's going to be getting rid of a lot of his T2 and T3, things like that. So that's what that is. Let's get back to the next one. Alright, so there's the troops that we currently have in the sanctuary. It is a lot of troops in there. Basically, there's going to be a lot of T2 in there. A small amount of T4 from the last time I was rallied. And that number is going to increase greatly. So let's get to the next battle, guys. Let's get to it. Here they are right here again. And let's see the damage right here. 6 million. So now we're in range. We've done cavalry phalanx. Now we're in range phalanx. So he is sending all infantry. All right, let's get to the next battle, guys. There's that divine providence increasing, and on the right side you see the divine resurrection side, which has about 1.3 million troops it can hold. But the divine providence side on the left side can hold, I am not sure how many it can hold. It can hold probably as many troops as you're able to send to that place. Here we got 4.8, almost 5 million might drop there. There he goes, and then there's nice other hit there, and there's another hit there. I think overall it took a total of only 4 rallies, guys. And remember, 2 of them were fails because I was not set up properly. I really made it difficult for them. They were not happy about that. Knight expressed his disapproval. He was very upset, lost his cool with me, and he was really pissed about that because, we're talking T5, T4. I mean, they're actually sending these marches. They're actually sending what they would in actual battle. This is like actual real battle. So, yeah, they're sending like real troops, guys, real battle troops. They're not sending T4, T2, which would take forever, or just much longer. But they're sending T5, T4, and so it's definitely difficult. Sorry about that. Constant adjusting and moving that image, that box there. So here we go again, guys. It's just a few more rallies and that will be it. And then I think I'm going to do a few solo hits on a few castles just to lose probably about 10 million more T2s. Ideally, I want my Ideally, ideally, if I wasn't really migrating, if I wasn't migrating, I could have, I wouldn't care how many troops I had if I wasn't migrating. But being in a warring guild, a real warring guild, a very active guild like this, migration is really difficult. Is really difficult. I've migrated 3 times already, and so I've used over what 180 migration scrolls already. There's Knight with the hidden uh, gear there. I like that. It's beautiful. Um, so it's not easy to migrate. You know. Now that's my choice because I can choose to just at this point go ahead with after the next migration or when I'm unable to migrate, I could simply just go back to the laid back guild I was at, which is Sim. Shout out to you guys, and I could have just been there and tried to piece together everything I've learned since I've been here with these players who are the rally leaders. You know, Knight is a rally leader. You know, he really assists a lot of the rally leads in this guild with how to rally. You know, so they're really top level, next level rally leads. So there we see that again. I am going fast. I'll take this down a little bit so you guys can possibly see whatever might I'm showing when I go there. So everyone is getting some kills. You got to keep in mind with a castle as big as mine, our guild members aren't getting these ridiculous kills. So they shout out to the guild. Honestly, they're not really the beneficiaries from this. They're just doing it because Knight uh, asked who asked them to do it. He asked whoever was willing to volunteer to help to do it. And I'm sure the guild complained, you know, because it makes sense. You know, I'm sure they complained and everybody kind of right. Because just in normal rallies, guys, people don't like to lose might. They don't like to lose troops. They don't like to have to use Lunite. Lunite is extremely expensive, guys. If you are not used to being in a warring guild, and if you're not used to using millions, hundreds of millions of Lunite, if you're not used to being in Baron and Emperor Wars and all those level type of wars, and then rallying other castles in your kingdom, as well as Wonder Wars, if you're, you know, and that ain't even the end of it. You got expeditions, you got Chaos Arena, and all these other places that you still have to use Lunite. It is very expensive. A warring guild is not a guild for a free to play player. It just won't happen. You won't be able to maintain your T5. So it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be able to, you would not be able to sustain that. So, but there you see me relocating, moving around some more troops to make it easier for them to do this courtesy for me. And I wish I could have did that at first. I wish I would have known. Okay, let's go ahead and put some, if any, heroes on my wall and familiars. Leave that as bare minimum as possible. Let's make sure we hide all our troops in different places. Let's make sure we get our talents off and gear off and all that stuff. Leader captured. Everything I can do to make it easier. So the only thing now that is the worst is I have an ultra boost. Uh, that is the only thing, which is not a major thing. There are people who have higher might, base might than I do without their leader. You know, so. But that's like I say. Now we have all the T5 out of there. That's what it would cost if I got rid of all those T4 in there. It's like T4 make up about over, I have like 1.6 billion just in T4 alone. T3, those sharpshooter, those two T2 right there. But that's kind of like the breakdown of what it costs to like remove, once I remove all of those. And I'm at 4.7 billion might now, but I would really like to be at about, honestly, I would like to be at about, to be honest, like 2.5, 2.7, 300 billion might at the most. 2.5, 2.7 billion might. That's like, that's where I would ideally think I would want to be, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind how many troops would you actually have at that kind of might. Not really a lot of troops. I mean, you probably be looking at something like 10 million T2s each, and probably something about probably 8 million T4s each, and Knight recommends like 1 million T5 each. But there's a, like Knight was telling me, there's a certain level where you want to be able to withstand rally parties. You know, with his gear, his base gear, I mean, with his gear and with Knight's might, you know, he can eat up some rallies. He can do great. But even maxed Emperor accounts, if you don't have the troops necessary to withstand a rally party or a few rallies, you're just not going to be successful. No matter how strong your stats are, you're still going to get burned or zeroed in some cases. So I'm headed to a might level that I haven't been at in a while. Like I said, it won't get all done in this video. It will get done. It will get completed in Baron, in that area there. So there you see it. So we still got quite a bit of range left, and then we got quite a bit of infantry left, guys. So there's still a lot of work to do. Started out with our 220 million troops, and we're under 160, something like that, guys. So that's pretty good. And still a lot of troops in here, of course, but there's still a lot of troops that are saved rather than dismissing the troops and then having to rebuild them at some point, just maybe to resist and withstand rallies or being rallied. So the sanctuary does help out quite a bit, guys. It helps out quite a bit. I will say this, that when I was in that cavalry, when Knight was hitting with cavalry and I was in the cavalry phalanx, you know, losing 10 million troops for a hit. If you think about it, 4 hits when I had 40 million T2 cavalry, that cavalry would have disappeared in 3 rallies, guys. Just in 3 rallies, that 40 million cavalry would have disappeared in that cavalry phalanx. And with Knight hitting the way he did, that's super sick, guys. That's discouraging, because yeah, that's crazy. But just think about it like this, guys, and this is what I mean when you look at the rally that just was done. They just rallied at 6 billion might a council with war gear on and online. I don't know if he's online. He might not have been online. He was not online, but he had war gear on, champ gear, guys, mythic champ gear, and in war gear. 6 billion might, guys. And I was shocked that this person had his leader and he was still losing all of that might. I don't even get it, guys. I don't understand that person's castle comp. I don't understand that. How can you be losing 60, 70, 80 million mic drop? I mean, even if it's 50 to 60 million mic drop on your first and second or third hit, and you have over 200 million troops and your 6 billion mic with champion gear on, with astrolites in them, and you know your leader. I don't even understand how he was losing might like that. I mean, if I had my leader and my gear on and I was being rallied, you guys just saw with the cavalry phalanx. Even if I just had a cavalry phalanx, if I was in cavalry phalanx, well, if I was in a range wedge and somebody hits me, that might not be the best example using the first or second hit that Knight did, because he got completely countered, even though I didn't have a leader and I didn't have talents and things like that. But nonetheless, if you get countered with that many troops, it's just obviously going to hurt. So that's not the best example. All right, so let's go inward. Okay, so here we got it right here, guys. Let's take a look at the troops left. It's all over for now. I started at about when it was like it was about 30, 29, 31. It was either 29 or 31 million T2 sharpshooters left, and it was about 30 million gladiators left, T2 infantry. And then I just took that down about that's a total of 6 and 7, about 13 million troops that I just soloed castles with, or solo marches, should I say. So it was cool, man. It was good. So that's my new mic now. Let's look at this guy. Let's look at this here. I don't have my gear on yet because this guy still has my leader. He's offline. Can you imagine that, guys? I like to familiar him, to be honest. Man still has my leader, man. It's crazy. He has my leader, and he's just sitting there. Hasn't been back online in a minute, I guess. Got offline. But it's all good. It's all good. So that's what I want to show you guys. I want to say thanks to the guild for participating, those who did. I appreciate it. There's still a lot of troops I do still want to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of you guys can see these. That's full. I did take some T5 out of there to make room for other T5 that were coming, because I filled a rally. I helped with a rally not too long ago. But let me see what we got here. So all my T1 are gone. That's how many T2 we have left. And these T3 will be gone at the next Baron and Emperor. That'd be cool. I could do a lot of solos on that. Those will be gone. And then we got T5 left. T4 and then T5. And you guys know we are always making T5 all the time. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Still more troops I got to lose. Hope you enjoyed that. And still got a lot of troops to lose, guys. That's all I can say. And yeah. Till next time, I'm out, guys. Have a good one here from Kansas City.